So it's day 2 of our Professor Breakdown. Let's head in and see what Plan B has for us. Yesterday, we took a look at a somewhat standard 4-2-3-1, the Professor's Plan. Now, this is the Professor's Plan B. As you can see, at least the creator of the tactic calls it a 3-1-2-3-1. The description says, this 3-1-2-3-1 tactic brings Johan Cruyff's footballing philosophy to FM24, blending relentless, high-pressing, fluid attacking movement and positional dominance. Originally tested with Wellington United, this setup delivered 5 straight promotions from Vanarama South to the Premier League, scoring goals at a ridiculous rate. Again, Wellington United had, 300 played, 168 wins, 54 draws, 78 losses. Is pretty nice return, no question about it. Now, it does list some key features: total football philosophy, high pressing machine, goal scoring frenzy, rock solid build up, and versatile and effective. So if you love attacking dominance and high intensity football, this tactic will transform your team into a relentless force. But I guess that's why we're taking a look at the tactic, to see if this actually works. So we're going to take a look at it with our 3 teams, though, of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League, and our championship side of Ipswich Town. So with all that said, let's just dive in and see what happens. Well, last time out, Liverpool topped the league again, getting a little bit above the 91 points and definitely getting above the 91 goals, but still, topping the league here is pretty nice. Aston Villa was in 3rd last time, this time 6th. But this is created for, I don't know if it was created for, but it was used at least by a Vanarama South team. So Premier League, Vanarama South, a little bit different there. That might be the issue here. But still, it's worth a shot if you like that formation. Something to throw your players into and kind of mix around, see what you can get out of it. Liverpool in the domestic cups, Carabao Cup quarterfinals, they lose out to Arsenal 2-3. They get to the FA Cup final, but in penalties, they get the win against Chelsea. And they get to the Europa final, getting the win 3-2 over Inter. So overall, 3 titles is still pretty nice. Squad-wise, I think they had a little bit more in the green with the previous tactic, but overall, this is still not too bad. 40 flipping goals for Salah. That's crazy. 29 for Nunez, assist. 18 for Salah, Diaz with 14, as does Szoboszlai, and then average rating 7.66 for Salah. Wow. Moving on to Aston Villa's domestic cup run, out in the FA Cup 4th round, so pretty quick against Sheffield United 0-1. They do get to the Carabao Cup final, beating Arsenal 3-2. They get to the Europa Conference League final and unfortunately lose out to Eintracht Frankfurt 0-1. So overall, this was definitely a lot more average of a season for Aston Villa. They do get the winners of the Carabao Cup, runners up at the Conference League, but there's still a lot of room that you could have grown. And it kind of shows in squad-wise. You have green, some, I guess. But 22 goals for Ollie Watkins, 16 for Diaby, assists 14 for Ramsey, 12 for Diaby, and then average rating, Leon Bailey gets a 7.21. Data Hub for Liverpool doing a little bit better of a job, I would say, overall in the attacking side than the previous tactic, although they just don't have the goals, only 2.39 goals per game versus 2.61 or something like that. But defensively, it's definitely worse than the previous one, almost kind of on their average mark. But 1.08 conceded, 1.09 XG against is actually probably a little bit worse than usual. 15 shots per game, almost leading the league though. Aston Villa, definitely a lot lesser of the attacking numbers, definitely a lot lesser of the defensive numbers. So overall, only 1.84 goals per game, 1.5 conceded, 1.44 XG against are definitely worse. Premier League stats, we got a lot to cover. Liverpool with 2.39 points per game, Aston Villa with 1.63. That is kind of low for them, no question about it. Liverpool with most goals in second with 91. Aston Villa with 70. Fewest shots against, 288 for Liverpool, 371 for Aston Villa. Most possession, 61% for Liverpool is actually pretty nice. That's one of the highest we've seen. Aston Villa with 58. Most dribbles made, Liverpool in 670 in 4th place. Aston Villa with 615 in 8th. Most tackles won, Aston Villa do make the list with 878. Best pass completion, 88% for both. And most shots for Liverpool in first with 603, which is a bit down. And then Aston Villa with 492, definitely down. But now a little bit of a suspense here. Ipswich Town. The other 2 did okay. Previously, they did a fantastic job. Ipswich came in first the last time around. How do you think they did this time? 5th place. But they're still promoted. I don't know how that worked because they almost never get promoted in the playoff rounds. But if we take a look overall, playoff semifinals, they beat out Southampton and then get to the playoff finals and beat out Leeds 2-1. But overall, 82 points, 82 goals, definitely have seen a lot higher. Domestic Cups. Carabao Cup first round, you're out immediately against Stevenage 0-1, and then FA Cup fourth round against Reading 1-2. So overall, yeah, you got promoted, but you're still ending up in the table in fifth spot. That's kind of not great compared to what we've seen in the past. FA Cup, Carabao Cup. I mean, that first round out in the Carabao Cup, it's not great. But everything else, I mean, I'm not expecting much. Squad wise, only 3 in the green, but I mean, it's probably your standard 3. 28 goals for Hurst, 12 for Connor Chaplin and Broadhead, assists 10 for Connor Chaplin. Leif Davis has left the building. Apparently, he's probably off to PSG as usual. But George Hurst with 709. And that's really it out of the all time players. Well, championship stats. Ipswich with 1.67 points per game, definitely low for them. In second place, though, in most goals with 89, most possession with 61%, just like Liverpool, most dribbles made in sixth with 744, best pass completion with 89%, and most shots were in third with 580. So now the tactic itself. Again, this was what, a 3-1-2-3-1. We start out with a goalkeeper in defend, ball playing defenders on the outsides in defend, with a central defender in defend in the middle. Deep line playmaker in defend, a Mazzala in support next to a ball winning midfielder in support, 2 inside forwards in attack, an attacking midfielder in attack, and then a complete forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality, in possession attacking with is fairly wide, play out of defense. Passing directness is standard, tempo is higher, low crosses, work the ball in the box, run at defense, and be more expressive. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and distribute to the center backs. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, get stuck in, step up more, and trap inside. But now, overall, how did it work for our 3 teams? I mean, no question, nowhere near the previous Professor's plan tactic. In fifth place, they do get to the playoffs. They do get through the playoffs, which is great. But overall, point tallies, goal tallies, they're all low. No question about it for all 3 teams. Liverpool do make the tops of the list. 91 points is not bad. 91 goals isn't either. However, again, we've seen a little bit higher. Aston Villa in 6th. Not the greatest, though. Definitely 62 points. That really needs to be up. I mean, as I always say, you generally can get a little bit better if you take care of this yourself, do your own transfers, tactical changes, match outs, training, things like that. I definitely think you could grow with this 62 points. However, how far, that's kind of up to you. Can you get to that top spot? That's a little tough. Again, this tactic was tested with a Vanarama South team that made it all the way to the Premier League. And won several trophies. But in this case and in this save, it just didn't work that well for us. But if you tried it, let us know how it worked for you in the comments below. But that's it for me, Sevine FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.